Just in while we're live, Taylor Swift is having bad blood with Blake Lively. I am not your dragon. I knew. Secret footage has been released that reveals that Blake Lively was working with Taylor Swift the whole time. If this is real, Blake Lively, you deserve all of this. This is a reckoning she needs to hear. This isn't bullying. This isn't harassment. This is accountability, girl.
Taylor Swift never signed up for this, but when her name showed up in Blake Lively's explosive lawsuit, used like a silent weapon in a battle she had nothing to do with, everything shifted. Now the fallout is unraveling. Depositions are looming, secret footage is surfacing, and one of Hollywood's most beloved friendships might have just turned into its most public implosion.
Blake Lively's claims that she was allegedly harassed by this guy when they shot the movie It Ends With Us, a film about domestic violence.
What began as a quiet storm behind the scenes of a major film production has now erupted into one of the most high-profile and polarizing legal battles Hollywood has seen in years. Blake Lively, acclaimed actress, producer, and cultural force, has stepped into a legal firestorm with a lawsuit that raises more questions than it answers, and its ripple effects may stretch far beyond the courtroom.
Call your friend and go, yo, I'm in trouble. I need help. I need backup. You don't do that without talking to them. You know what I mean?
Right. People are putting snake emojis. Taylor hates snakes. Kim Kardashian, all these people who manipulate her.
The controversy centers around the upcoming film adaptation of It Ends With Us, the highly anticipated drama directed by Justin Baldoni. Blake Lively's lawsuit, filed in California's Superior Court, accuses Baldoni of sexual harassment and workplace retaliation during the film's production. But it's the language of the complaint that immediately set off alarms among legal analysts and entertainment reporters alike. Instead of laying out definitive, concrete claims, the suit hinges on what Lively believed to be Baldoni's inappropriate and predatory behavior. Legal experts suggest this may be a strategic move, an attempt to avoid potential liability for perjury. While this approach may be legally sound, it's also raised serious eyebrows. Critics argue that the complaint reads more like a heavily suggestive narrative than a substantive legal accusation, blurring the lines between personal perception and actionable misconduct.
Kind of lawsuit that is full evidence, missions, documents, prove exactly what she did, how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie, used her PR people to try to destroy justice.
Adding to the complexity was Lively's decision to bypass the California Civil Rights Department's full investigative process. Rather than submitting to a formal inquiry, she and her legal team released the complaint directly to the New York Times, instantly igniting a media frenzy. The move was bold, calculated, and unmistakably strategic, but it also opened the door to serious skepticism. Was this really about justice? Or was it about narrative control?
Source adds, it's weird to say that about a friend.
Yeah.
100,000%. If you get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate I'm Khaleesi, which is, by the way, she's not a good guy in the movie. She's a bad guy.
Within days, Justin Baldoni issued a strong denial through his legal counsel, calling the allegations categorically false and deeply damaging. But the real escalation came fast and hard when Baldoni filed a countersuit, naming not just Lively, but also her husband, actor and entrepreneur Ryan Reynolds. The countersuit seeks a staggering $400 million in damages for alleged defamation and what Baldoni's legal team describes as a deliberate and malicious effort to destroy his career and reputation. The tone of the filing was unapologetically aggressive, signaling that this battle isn't just legal, it's personal, public, and bound to get messier.
Because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you. That is so manipulative and shady and absolutely leveraging her relationship with Taylor Swift, no?
In an explosive twist, the countersuit claims that Lively leveraged her extensive personal network to influence both the production and the media coverage surrounding the incident. And at the center of that network, according to Baldoni, Taylor Swift. She's described in the filing as one of Lively's dragons, a metaphor allegedly used within the production to refer to her inner circle of powerful allies. those who protect her interests and amplify her voice. The implication? That Swift's influence may have played an indirect yet significant role in shaping the narrative, whether she meant to or not.
She doesn't want that in her life. People who are using her. She feels like she was leveraging her name, as we reported.
While Swift is not named as a defendant in any legal filings, her close connection to Lively and her proximity to the situation have only fueled further speculation. According to multiple sources, a post-production meeting held at Lively's New York apartment, intended to be a private and informal gathering, became a flashpoint. Baldomé allegedly arrived unexpectedly, and Swift, reportedly unaware he would be present, left the meeting feeling blindsided and deeply uncomfortable. Though she's remained publicly silent, insiders say that moment marked a turning point in how Swift viewed the entire situation, raising questions about whether her influence in the fallout was more intentional than initially believed.
Tape something quick here, because look at this. Taylor Swift feels like she was used by Blake Lively in her war with Justin Baldoni. She resents Blake calling her one of her dragons and leveraging her name.
The incident has only intensified public scrutiny, with fans and media outlets dissecting every detail like it's the Zapruder film. Was Swift missiled into attending a setup? Was Baldoni attempting a calculated confrontation to shift the balance of power? The ambiguity surrounding that night has fanned the flames, turning a private moment into a public obsession and deepening the sense that behind the legal jargon and PR statements, there's a much bigger game being played.
Referring to you as their, monster little dragons that do bet for better or worse, yada, yada, yada. They'll help you too.
Behind the scenes, industry insiders are growing increasingly uneasy. What began as a high-stakes legal skirmish has now cast a long, disruptive shadow over Asterisk. It Ends With Us, Asterisk, a film once poised as a prestige adaptation with real award season buzz. Now, its future hangs in the balance. From investors to marketing teams, stakeholders are scrambling, reassessing strategies in real time. For Justin Baldoni, the countersuit was not just a defense, it was survival. Armed with what his team calls receipts, he fired back, aware that Blake Lively wasn't backing down and allegedly determined to end his career through attrition and legal exhaustion. The stakes for him couldn't be higher. Once celebrated for projects that championed empathy and emotional depth, Baldoni now finds his reputation under siege, his directorial future increasingly uncertain. The financial disparity only sharpens the contrast. Baldomi's estimated net worth hovers between $4 to $6 million. Lively is reportedly worth $30 million, and her husband Ryan Reynolds, now pulled into the countersuit as a named defendant, commands a net worth of around $350 million. For Baldoni, this isn't just a courtroom fight, it's David versus Goliath in Hollywood designer suits. Lively, long known for her meticulous control over her brand and public persona, now faces her most unpredictable terrain yet, litigation. In court, there are no stylists, no brand deals, no carefully curated Instagram captions, only sworn statements and courtroom testimony. And with Reynolds now caught in the crossfire, the quiet, supportive husband image is under revaluation. Was he simply standing by his wife, or did he have a strategic role behind the scenes? Ultimately, this case won't just hinge on hard facts, it will be shaped by perception. How the court interprets the evidence and how the public digests the story may prove just as critical. Both legal teams know they're not just speaking to a judge, they're speaking to an audience of millions. Whether Lively's lawsuit becomes a landmark stand against abuse and retaliation in Hollywood or a high-risk gamble that spectacularly backfires is still unknown. But one thing is certain, this is no longer a private dispute. It's a full-blown public reckoning where careers, reputations, and legacies hang in the balance.
Yes. She's making up until the last season, and I reject the last season.
She's
not
spoiler
canon to
alert,
me.
because this last season kind of does suck. She turns into a psychopath. I happen to have a few dragons, for better or worse, but usually for better, because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine.
Blake Lively may have fired the first shot, but the blast didn't just hit her target. It scorched everything around her. And caught in the crossfire? Taylor Swift. What Lively didn't anticipate, or worse, didn't care to, was how deeply this lawsuit would rattle her inner circle. Swift, one of the most powerful celebrities on the planet, didn't sign up for the drama. But now she's in it, not as a player, but as collateral damage.
One thing is clear, Taylor feels used. It's a huge falling out. Taylor is godmother to one of Ryan and Taylor's kids. Ooh, I could see real bad blood brewing. Real bad blood is brewing, Kim. Look,